my gosh, that's so cute every single time. Hi, everybody. We are so excited to have you here for our very first live. It's the start of the meeting. Yay! Yeah, a little round of applause for the first one.
Cheer.
I am Roni Langley.
I'm Hailey.
Hey guys, I'm Annie, and
I'm Kelly.
And this is the Maker Meetup. We're so excited to have you here today. It's the start of something amazing. I'm telling you right now, you're here for the very first episode and you're going to be glad. But so to give you just kind of the overview of what this is going to be is we all came together through social media, and it's just been an amazing journey of making friendships and building this awesome maker community. And we just wanted a place where we could showcase that and where we could have like friendly conversations with each other. This is like being in a cafe with your friends and just getting a cup of coffee and catching up for the week. So that's exactly what it's going to be. And we're glad that you're here with us. Oh yeah. We all have drinks. We're glad that you're going to be here with us. So this is going to be a space for creativity, for makers. There's no qualifiers to be here. You don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to be an expert in your field. You could have just done your first DIY craft yesterday, or maybe you've been too scared to start. There's no qualifiers to be here. It is come as you are, and all are welcome. But without further ado, we are going to meet the makers so that you can get to know your hosts a little bit more. And we're going to start with Hailey.
Hey guys, my name's Hailey from artist Hailey Nolin on Instagram, and you also might know me from my podcast page, the Hey It's Hey podcast, and now the Maker Meetup with my really good friends. I am a mixed media artist. I also specialize in resin oceans, and I live at the beach, and I think you do too, right, Annie? You guys live in LA, so
Los Angeles.
I wish I was super close, though. I wish I was as close as you are.
It's like it's only 10 miles, but traffic makes it about 2.5 hours to get there. So
what?
Yeah.
Oh,
on
no.
a busy day, 2.5 hours going down Wilshire or down Sepulveda to get to the beach or back.
You're
Okay,
joking.
that's almost the same drive as me, and I'm like super landlocked. So it's probably like 3 hours to me to the recent beach, and 10 miles. It's hundreds of miles to get to the beach for me. That is insane. Traffic.
Well, like we always say, once this COVID stuff's over with, and I hope it is, you guys can all come stay with me, and we can walk to the beach because it's across the street, and it's a 3-second drive. So a little bit more about me is I got laid off from my corporate job, as you guys know, in February of 2020, and I know all of us got hit really hard this year. But instead of making it negative, I tried to look on the bright side and started this little art business, and it just started to take off, and I met you guys, and I just have to say that the art world has been a really happy place for me, and it is one of my hobbies that I've loved for so long, and I'm just really excited that I can take it to a larger scale and meet more awesome people like you.
Heck
Annie,
yes.
do you want to say anything?
I was going to say, you've had a really tough but exciting year. You really turned a negative into a positive with
Silver
a layoff.
linings.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
The biggest silver lining.
I know. So Ani, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right, so continuing on what we were saying before, I'm from sunny Los Angeles. So born and raised here. I actually went to school to study animation and visual effects and 3D environmental design. Like, how did I go from there to here? It was just so crazy, like
Flawlessly.
Yeah, it wasn't that flawless, girl. It wasn't definitely not flawless.
Hoops and ladders to go through to get there.
But it's all art, and I never grew up as an artist. Like, people think I've been doing my art my whole life. I didn't have a paintbrush till about 6 years ago, so I've literally just been making art for the past 6 years. I'm just like really crafty, and I'm good with my hands. Usually, like anything I try to put together, as long as I can watch a little video or something, I'm like, okay, got it, done.
Easy, right? I couldn't be more the opposite. I've literally, I think I had a paintbrush in my hand before I had like a fork or a spoon. Like, I literally couldn't be more the opposite.
I grew up with boys, so I was playing soccer and football, and they would put me in their karate outfits and beat me up and play with them, and I would always be muddy. I have scars on my knees from just falling and getting scraped. Like, I was a tomboy. I was a boy. Legit, I was a boy.
Oh, me too.
I love that.
Yeah, so that, and then obviously I'm also a resin artist, but I like to dabble in all kinds of different things. I really like doing projects that have a lot of layers. I really like complicating my life and projects and stuff. So that, but besides that, some things that I'm super passionate about. I have like a lot of coffee cups, and I drink a lot of coffee throughout the day. Usually I'll make a really big cup and just sip on it. I have a Boston Terrier dog, which is the love of my life. And if you guys go to the Maker Meetup stories, you'll see her on there. Her name is Coco Bean.
Oh, she is so cute.
She's the cutest. I love her so much. So that, and then
her little snout is like the cutest.
Do you guys ever have an animal and it's like a certain gender, and I always call all animals he's because I have 2 boy dogs.
Mine are always girls. Always girls.
Dogs to me are boys and cats to me are girls. Like in my head, that's just what makes sense for some reason. I have
totally
a dog too. Like my dog's a girl.
And then something else that I just needed to mention is that like I don't mind breakfast food, but I don't mind it. I'll eat it, but like I'll eat a hamburger at 6 a.m. or Chinese food at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and be so happy. Yes.
Okay,
leftover, for breakfast. But now it's Kelly.
Go ahead and pick Kelly and Ani out of the live stream because that's unacceptable. That's just
Chinese food for breakfast is the best, especially leftover Chinese.
Wait, Chinese food? Did you say Chinese food?
6 a.m. in the morning. It's all good.
The only thing that I'll say about that is that I did have like a bowl of rice for breakfast the other day, but it was at 1 p.m. So it didn't count as breakfast. It just happened to be my first meal of the day. The hamburger for breakfast is disgusting.
Rice for breakfast is like a fried egg. Oh my goodness. And Sam, it is the best.
Give me all the broccoli and the soy sauce and the onions and the teriyaki.
No. We don't touch eggs here. Eggs freak me out. They make me dry heat. I promise you. So,
and feet. You don't like feet either. Eggs or feet.
I'm the opposite. I could have breakfast. If I could have breakfast for dinner every single night, I would.
Oh no.
I like yogurt for breakfast. Yogurt for breakfast. Protein shake lunch. Dinner, regular dinner. Oh, someone said chicken burgers for breakfast.
That's
on your team.
Yeah.
They're on your team.
You guys, we want to know what you guys eat for breakfast. So in the comments, we want to see what you guys eat. What's the weirdest things you guys eat for breakfast? Type it in there so we can read some of those and laugh at you guys.
On Instagram. Later on Instagram.
All right, let's move on to Kelly.
Let's move on to Kelly while we wait for weird breakfast comments.
Yeah, perfect. Well, hello guys. I mean, y'all know me. Well, you 3 know me. My name is Kelly. Oh wait, no, whatever. So my name is Kelly, and I'm from Kelly Belly 62, and also Creatively Kelly. Okay, before I tell you about myself, I wanted to test the 3 of you. To just kind of see how well you know me. Okay, so we're gonna play a quick round of 2 truths and a lie. So I'm sure you guys all played this before. So I'm gonna tell you 3 statements.
Okay.
2 are true, 1 is false. Okay.
Okay.
So, ready?
Yes.
All right. Number 1, I hate anything that is scented with the warm vanilla sugar scent.
Ooh, okay.
Like from the Bath and Body Works thing.
That's true. I've been to Bath and Body Works.
I know it's true. But go ahead.
2. 2 is I was the cheer captain at my school for 2 years in high school.
Okay.
That's a good one.
3, I broke my arm in 9th grade when a line drive hit my elbow.
What's a line?
Oh my gosh, that's so specific. How could that be made?
Softball. It could be softball, baseball.
I think I think I remember that story.
The second one.
Am I imagining it?
The second one's false.
Second one is false.
I think the second one is false.
Dang it. Okay. You guys know me well.
Your friends know you well, honey.
You guys got it. Yeah. Good job,
just know you too well.
Good job. All right. So we got that out of the way. But I too am a California-based artist. Like we're just gonna transition right back to the whole background thing.
As you guys can tell,
it's not X.
Yeah, this is a very familiar place for all of us. So I hope you viewers are getting the warmth at home.
So anyways, I'm a California-based artist, and we're also getting some technical support that's saying I don't know what to do with my hands. And this is very true. So don't mind when I flail them around. It just happens. Anyways, so I've been doing art forever. I like Roni said, I was holding a paintbrush for longer than a fork. I have always been crafty and just loving the creative process. I got into resin work. So some of you might know me from my resin work. That was about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And, but I love to dabble in everything. So right now, I hope like my family isn't watching this because it's a surprise, but I'm making.
You know your mom is watching.
You know, don't tell it. You know your mom is gonna see this.
My mom is watching. I know she is. But okay, my extended family. So I'm making ornaments this year. I make them every single year. This tree behind me is filled with handmade ornaments, and this year I'm doing macrame. So that's something new I've never done before. Yeah. But yeah, I just love to dabble, and I love just creating art and having fun. But yeah, that's me.
That's our Kelly.
We love to see it. Okay, well, I'm Roni Langley at RL Designs. I have been doing art my entire life. I've always been pretty creative, but growing up, everybody, like my parents are super, super supportive now, but growing up, they were definitely like, get a real job. Like, I feel like everybody's parents have said that to them at some point where they're like, are you sure? And so everyone, like my parents, my extended family, my like entire community, the world just said like, don't be the starving artist and like get a real job. So I did art for like my electives and then did like actual other real job stuff. With my more concentrated time in college, I actually graduated for technical writing in IT, and I went and worked in an IT job for a while, and I loved it. But I had started this little hobby doing painting in college as a like last ditch effort not to starve to death because I was really poor. And so I just got to a point where it was like, okay, I really need to focus more time on this hobby to make it into something profitable. And it's a really, really big gamble to leave my salary job to make that happen. But I'll roll the dice. So I did. And 2 years later, it has been full time for about, well, yeah, I guess almost 2 years. It's been a long time. It's been amazing. It was literally an accident, but here we are. It's the best accident I've ever had happen to me. And through that, I met all of these lovely ladies, and just
we're very happy about your accident. So happy about your accident.
Yeah, very happy. Yes, me too. So that's a little bit about who I am. And this is the Maker Meetup. And this is just going to be a place where the four of us who already love each other are here to talk to each other, but we're also here to talk to you guys because we wouldn't be where we are without our community, and you guys are a part of that. And so we just wanted a space to say hey and catch up every week. And yeah, have fun, goof off, as you can tell. But we are going to have a different topic that we're talking about every week. And we thought it would be really nice to kick things off with the topic of community over competition. And I will give a little shout out. It's Sam from DIY Huntress actually originally coined this in one of the Moss Epoxy live panels. And we all just loved that idea. We loved it. So we are going to kick off that little like community over competition with talking about comparing yourself to others. And I know that Ani has been doing this the longest. So Ani, let's hear from you first about how you feel about it, like mental toll it takes on you to compare yourself, kind of that competition mentality. Let's hear what you have to say first.
All right. So I did start, I think, a lot earlier than you guys. I started doing this about 6 years ago, and it was a very different time than it is now. There's a lot of us now, like a lot of us. When I first started—
Were you doing resin 6 years ago?
I started with like painting. Actually, Andy's art studio used to be a wine and paint event. Like I used to host wine and paint events at people's houses. Yeah. So people would hire me. And you know, I would do that, but then people would ask me like they wanted to coat their paintings, and I had no idea. Again, I didn't grow up an artist. I have no idea what I was doing, you guys. And I just started looking up like, you know, varnishes and like shiny coats for paintings, and I found something called resin. At the time, I had no idea what it was, and I literally went to like Home Depot or something and bought this stuff that was disgusting. It was so bad. And that's kind of basically how I got in. But I think I've been doing resin for about 5 years now. So it's been a little bit.
Wow.
So when I first started, the industry was like, I can count on my one hand, like the biggest artists, you know what I mean? And let me tell you, they didn't like it when I came into the industry. I got a lot of competitive kind of stuff. That's my artwork. That's how I do things. That's how I whatever. And I'm like, well, why'd you put it on the internet? You know what I mean? And they didn't explain things, but like, I'm kind of savvy. So like, I looked at it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Gotcha. You know? But my thing is I teach people, I YouTube. I teach people how to make art and give tutorials. So I would put it and, you know, I would get compared to a lot. I would get yelled at a lot. But let's talk about the competition. I would comparison. I would look at these people and be like, I want to be like them. You know what I mean? But we were all doing the same thing. So after a while, I had to shift my mind, you know, especially now when there's so many of us, my mindset had to shift into a space where I'm envious and I want to learn from my colleagues, as opposed to being jealous or why is my post not doing as well, or because it kills me. I'm an empath and I'm like, my feelings, I feel way too much. I would like crush myself with anxiety. And the only thing that did was stop my work. I would get depressed and not keep posting and stuff. So now what I try to do is like, I look at, let's say, my colleagues and say, that's freaking fantastic, man. Like, get ideas and look and learn from them, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and kind of shifting it, because there is absolutely, you're going to get zero growth from comparing in a bad way, and you're just going to depress yourself. And it's horrible.
And with that too, so like with the comparing and everything comes along the numbers game. And I mean, I think a lot of us are in the situation where we are, our numbers on social media is our life. I mean, we are constantly looking at these numbers and like, oh man, this video didn't do well. What am I doing wrong? But
you always lose that game. There's no winning the numbers game. Nobody wins that game.
Yeah, because there's so like the highs are so high and the lows are so low.
And it's also something that's constantly growing. It's constantly changing. Like I'd be like, oh, I want to hit 100,000. And then you hit 100,000, but so does everybody else. So you're like, well, no, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
I was just talking on Hailey's podcast about the numbers game. And we were talking about how like early on, I was looking at this count that had like 275,000 followers. And I was like, wow, like their life must be picture perfect. And I wanted to be them. And then one day they posted on their story about how they like couldn't even afford their rent or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I have less than 10,000 followers right now and it's paying all my bills. Why was I taking my one number and their one number and comparing apples to oranges? And
numbers don't pay bills.
No. And I was telling myself I was telling myself I wasn't as good as them because that one number wasn't the same, but like I was technically doing better than them financially. Like it's just, you never win the numbers game, and what you see on social media is never really what the reality is, which I wanted to kind of segue that into talking about like, we see other people's stuff all the time. We draw inspiration from it and we compare ourselves to it. And it's kind of like the positives, the negatives, kind of going back and forth, but you can really take that and make it into a positive and kind of shut down the comparison and tune up the community and turn that into inspiration. But it's a double-edged sword because when you're inspired by somebody, like what are the do and don'ts of taking that inspiration into your own art? And Kelly does a huge range of work. So I feel like you probably know the most about this.
Yeah, so I do want to say first, I'm looking at the comments right now, and Jamie Tobin said, collaboration leads to greater creativity. And I feel like that is perfect for what we're talking about right now, because
we met through a collaboration.
Exactly.
Yeah, we met because of Moss.
Exactly. Yeah. We all met through Moss and we all collaborated. And now we have this amazing community of, you know, the four of us, but also this giant community around us that we can draw inspiration through. So something that's really important is, you know, looking at our peers and being inspired by what they're doing. So, you know, everyone here on this live, we all have different styles. We're all using epoxy, but we are completely different with our styles.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that we can draw inspiration from each other. And I think we do that through YouTube, Pinterest. I mean, the whole social media is all about sharing your ideas. But something that you can kind of get in trouble with is the word copying gets thrown around a lot.
Which
and I
is
think
so hard with social media.
Yeah.
Because sometimes somebody's creating something at the same time as you and you're not seeing it. And then suddenly someone's like, this person did it first. And you're like, I have never seen that before in my life.
Yeah.
Or you see like 20 different resin oceans. And you're like, I invented that. And like, maybe honestly, someone might think they really did, you know, like 5 different people at the same time. So it can go both ways.
I actually have a kind of funny story about that. This girl, I followed this girl like forever ago before I even started like doing resin oceans, and she had in her bio original creator of resin ocean art, and she had the biggest chip on her shoulder about it, and I had to unfollow her because she had such a sour attitude. Now, being in her shoes, I can imagine that would be really frustrating to see something that you think that you coined become such a big trend and seeing so many people like take it on as their own as well. But like, girl, you don't own it.
Something different between technique and art, like art styles, like, you know.
Listen, I made a pyramid, right? It went viral, and then now there are hundreds and thousands of people that make pyramids over and over, like all kinds of styles, and people literally make the same exact rose one that I make with the same exact layering and colors. So it's like, what am I going to do? I put it on the internet.
I've never heard a bad word come out of Ani's mouth that someone else is doing something similar to her. Or
I put it on the internet, and I make, just like Kelly, we make step-by-step tutorials, literally showing every step. How am I going to be angry and say like, you're copying me? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and with me, so the videos that I make, they are step-by-step tutorials, and I want people to, I mean, I'm giving you these steps to recreate this exact thing, and I want people to be inspired and create, and also take like creative, you know, liberty to have fun with it, you know, try different colors with it, you know, try different medium or whatever. But yeah, that whole copying thing, it's difficult sometimes because I think, you know, we all want to be credited, you know what I mean, in some capacity. So, you know, if like Ani, you made the pyramids, and I'm sure it would make your day if you saw someone say this was inspired by Ani.
100%. Like, and, you know, and sometimes it's hurtful when I see people like copying it to the exact T. But it doesn't make me frustrated. Like, I wish they would say like, you know, inspired by Ani, or like, you know, take my idea and kind of change it up a little bit and make it their own. But again, you know, I pride myself in teaching. So it's like, people are going to do what they're going to do. It's the internet. People can look at what we're doing right now on this show and compare and copy the whole show. Like, it is what it is. So don't be sour about it.
There's like a balance to keep between like, I saw something that I was really inspired by, and then I mimicked it and made the exact same thing. I don't feel like you should be doing that. Now, I don't think that you should look at that being done and get worked up about it and feel like you have ownership over that and get all like chip on your shoulder angry. But I also don't feel like as an artist, you should be looking at other people, because there's already that out there. If you want a big, just like a free business tip from yours truly, if you want to make a little spot in the market for yourself, you have to figure out something that other people aren't doing. You have to add your own twist to it, because if it's already done, like there's already, the market's filled. Like, there's somebody already doing that. People are going to buy from them because like you're starting after them. They're already ahead of you. Like, find your own way to make it yours. Like, don't copy someone else's intentionally. Now, as a maker, if you've got an account that's already big and you've already seen people copying your stuff, so frustrating. If you are new to this and you get to that point, you just got to let it go. You can't get frustrated over that, because it's the internet. Yeah, it's the internet. There's nothing you can do.
Roni, I guess all of us, there are people that are going to learn from what we put out there on the internet, but we have the confidence in knowing that like Ani, your pyramids are like A1. Like you make them so that you know that you are putting your 100% for invest abilities that you can into that. You're not sloshing things around and trying to schlep it out the door for money. You know what I mean? So we have to think about that as well, is like be confident in what you are creating and don't really look at if other people are copying you, because they're going to be the ones that know that themselves, that they're plagiarizing.
And Mike Williams said, I would rather grow as a community than an individual. And that's totally true.
Yeah. Ooh, that is incredible. Kudos
thank you, Matt.
Kudos
thank you.
That's
seriously.
Our tech in the background.
Matt. Thank you. Thank you in the background,
Matt. I could, oh my gosh, that like fits in perfectly with our whole purpose here. Is we would all rather grow as a unit, as a community, as one, and like build each other up than just like be selfish and competitive. And like if it takes tearing someone else down to build myself up, I don't want it. Like I would rather stay stagnant with the people that I love, with the community that I'm invested in, than tear other people down and like screw other people over to get ahead, because it doesn't get you ahead. We have all, I'm sure, met people like that are willing to step on people's shoulders to get ahead, and you end up falling and everyone else is going up together. Like it's just not worth it.
And you don't bring anyone open on the way up.
Listen, we're a family. The industry is a family. So when something, let's say something goes wrong with somebody's account or something happens, right? You're going to have this whole community that's going to come and back you up and protect you. But if you're trying to tear people down, ain't no one going to like you. And there's people where in the industry, it's known, they're like, I don't want to be friends with that person. Like when people come to our pages, we're family. They know that, you know? But you don't want to, you want to be a part of that and grow together and support each other.
And with that, with the growing together, in our last panel, Dave, who's the CEO of Moss, he was mentioning how you want your industry to grow, because if your industry isn't growing, then you ain't going to be growing either. So, I mean, you want to see everyone doing well, because that means more people want to do resin, more people want to create, more people want to have this community. So,
and there's plenty of people out there that will buy stuff from each one of us. I guarantee you that the people that want to purchase your items or like your items or share your posts and stuff, you for who you are and who we are, and they don't just think of you as a home goods item on a shelf that they're just going to stick in their bathroom and not know who made it. And that's really special.
And on that, kind of another free business tip, when you are getting into the artist industry, like you are definitely trying to make income off your art, but you're also looking at social media as a way of making income, and you're wanting brand deals, you're wanting sponsorships, that kind of stuff. And the thing is that if I have a bad interaction with another artist who is being like, you know, if they're just rude, or if they're being rude, being mean, whatever it is, if somebody in my, like, that I'm working with is like, oh, we're thinking about bringing on a new person, it might be this person, I'm not going to tear them down, because I'm not that type of person, but I'm definitely not going to build them up. And I'm not going to go out of my way for somebody who made it obvious that they don't want to make it a community. They want to be an individual that's rising above other people. Like, this is about being together. It's about being a unit. And like, we've all figured that out, and we're all like really close friends now. And we wouldn't have been if we had come into these conversations with this is my competition. Like every order she gets is another order I don't get. Like, it's not like that. And kind of like, to go with that, we have to find inspiration, and we can find it on social media, but we need to also find it from other places. Like, we can't always be looking at other people's art and mimicking it. And it can be kind of hard to find inspiration and like get an artist rut and have artist block. And I know we all have really different ways of getting out of that funk. I know Hailey lives like 3 seconds from the beach. Do you draw a lot of inspiration from that, or like where does it come from for you?
Good question. And I think this is really interesting that you said that social media, we really need to just like not only solely draw our inspiration from that, because I made a really big shift on my social media recently, and I just was following like 1,000 something accounts. I went through each one because some of them were making me feel bad. And I know that over here on our comments board, Cheryl Siegel just said that she wants to give up because she feels discouraged, and sometimes can come from external factors. So that's what was happening to me. And no matter what, if your stuff's selling or not, you can still feel discouraged by what other people are putting out there sometimes and by the way that they're portraying it. And it can sometimes give you an interpretation of yourself. So I unfollowed everybody that was making me feel uneasy, which were more like huge things, like big brands like Chanel and stuff, where it was like an art related, where I was like, I don't look like that. Unfollowed all of them, and then went through and just followed more people that I liked and enjoyed reading their content and reading their content from. So that is one way that I get my inspiration. And Cheryl, you are not alone. I feel discouraged every day sometimes.
All the
sometimes
time. All the time.
I was painting with resin, I think, for before I started, after I got laid off, since I was like 16, and I'm 23 now. So it's not like it came immediately. It wasn't just instant success. It's still not. I still struggle sometimes. Just because we see a number and a K next to it on a social media doesn't mean they're making any money or able to get any sort of full-time job. It's scary. Like sometimes health insurance, when you don't have a real full-time job, is scary. And just don't feel discouraged. And another few ways that I get inspiration, and you guys probably get these too, is in the shower. Does anyone want a notepad that you write on in the shower? Because I want one.
I want one.
Wait, those exist?
Santa,
I knew they existed. I didn't know actual people bought them.
Send me an ad or shower notepad.
Shower notepad. Shower notepad. Can you hear me? Shower notepad.
I listen to podcasts in the shower, so I have no free space to think about murder. I think about murder in the shower because I'm listening to my true crime podcast. Every I wash the shit out of my eyes, I'm like looking over the curtain, like, who's there? You can't kill me.
Have you seen the TikTok where there's a girl and she's like, this is my routine in the morning. Stumbles to the bathroom, like she barely has her eyes open. She's on the toilet and she goes, wah! Into the shower curtain. Make sure nobody's there. She goes,
I don't watch anything horror, murdery, scare. I don't watch any of that stuff.
I'm such a crime junkie. I love it.
I can't do it either.
I'm an animator, so I love things that like have visual effects. So like,
I'm like,
that's what I do.
Yes, like let me.
I watch 3D cartoons.
I'm like Disney happy, like Tangled, Frozen, and I'm also like stabbed 36 times. Like I am.
Oh, your Wrapped, your Spotify Wrapped that you posted, was all crime podcasts.
It was all crime podcasts. I'm literally addicted.
It all makes sense now. It all makes sense.
I've got a lot of duality going on. But anyway, kind of back on topic, I wanted to touch on, Hailey said something about like the numbers don't mean what you think they do. And I was going to mention another thing that I talked about on our podcast. If you guys want to go listen to the episode, hey, it's this girl that I'd been following for a while, she had like 10 times the followers I did. I think she had like 85K and I had like less than 2,000. When I first followed her, and she was super sweet. I loved her to death. And then I was like, in my head, I had this idea of her that she had all the confidence in the world because her account was big. And then one day I got a message from her and she just said, watching you grow has been so discouraging. I'm so sorry, but I have to block you. So I stopped looking at your numbers go up. And by the time I saw the message, I'd already been blocked. And there was nothing I could do. And I low-key liked her a lot. I have one of her pieces in my room and she just couldn't take the social media pressure of watching someone else succeed. And you can't think of it that way. And so I looked at that and I was thinking she had all the confidence in the world because like I think of her work as better than mine. And then she's over there like staring at her phone screen, discouraged, looking at my page. And like, I don't ever want anyone to feel that way about my work and see growth on my account as something negative towards them.
Right.
But it just kind of brought into perspective that like, it's not what you think it is. So don't take those numbers and like internalize them and worry and fuss. And like, when you're looking at other people's stuff, take inspiration, be excited, but like, don't be them. And like,
but that's why I think Instagram in different countries has taken out the numbers. Like they can't see how many, how many likes, how many views and things like that on the accounts because people just get really depressed and this competitiveness can really damage a person's like soul.
It could be so toxic.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying earlier. That's interesting because you know how I was saying I unfollowed the accounts that were making me feel like about myself. I mean, so like I did that, but I didn't message them saying that to them, like letting them know like you're making me feel bad about myself. But so I guess I get both sides. But don't worry about the numbers. It doesn't matter. We want to lift everyone up. I love buying things from people that have 200 followers. I just love it. It's a hobby, you guys.
But you get to be like a part of their story. And that's what we were talking about this last live panel, how like somebody asked if they had to have their face on it. I was like, no, you don't. But people want to know you. And it's because like they want to be a part of your story. They want to be a part of your process, your growth, your whole journey. And like, it's hard to feel connected if you're not putting a person to the art. Otherwise, go buy a print somewhere because there's no person behind that art. I have never bought a print at Target and then be like, I should look up who made this. Like,
or like even. Go ahead, Hailey.
No, you're fine. I was saying that I am probably frozen on my screen right now. So thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to say congratulations to Jamie Tobin. That is incredible. Congratulations so much. For the other people that can't see all the comments, they did a happy dance. They just hit 1,000 followers.
Jamie Tobin is actually a really good friend of mine. She's the girl she's the one that does the laser cutouts of the wood and like my ornaments and stuff that I make. And by the way, we have a little art meetup this weekend. So we're gonna have a little bit of a lot of lives and a lot of art coming to you guys. So it's gonna be really fun. But I love watching you, girl mama.
Yes, that's so exciting. And Cheryl, I didn't see the whole comment, but I did see a little snippet of feeling like you're not good enough. We've all been there and you just got to push through it. It's a part of everybody's journey where you have those days. And I promise you are good enough. And also, I'm not going to pull it out and show you, but my first piece of resin art was trash.
I love how you started that sentence. So I was like,
us too. Yeah, I was like, pull it
out. I'm not going to pull it out.
My Christmas cookies,
no. I'm not gonna pull it out, but it was terrible. I felt like I wasn't good enough.
I also know Cheryl, and I've seen her work, and her work is brilliant. Her work is very. Now each of us have we have our own character to our art. So does she. So Cheryl, come on.
Yeah,
I love you, girl. I love you.
Please keep creating.
Message me on Instagram. I want to know I want to follow her.
And also, I know like we have all been kind of like preaching about like don't look at the numbers like that. It is so much easier said than done because, oh my goodness, we deal with the numbers game every single day. Like, we can say this. Yeah.
Don't let us convince you that we're perfect. We still look. We still have days we get discouraged. We still go in our little group chat with the 4 of us and be like, I lost 200 followers today. And then we all talk about how trash social media is. Like, we still do it, but
we have the community. Yeah, but we have the community. So that's like something really important that Roni just said. Is that, we will go into our group chat and vent about it because it's so important to have this community and we are all on each other's side. So even though that maybe one of us are like, we're feeling down about ourselves and just like, oh, this didn't perform that I wanted to, whatever it is, at least we have each other to feed off of and kind of be like everyone's hype girl. Like we're here for you.
I'm following her. I'm following her.
The other 3 are ready with a encouraging comment, with a comment on the post, with a reshare. Like I was so scared to do my first auction. And as soon as I put it up, Kelly reposted that to her story immediately with like my friends doing an auction. And I was just like all the stress went away. I'm like, okay, like I'm fine. Like I've got, even if this doesn't go well, like I got my girls, I got a community that is here to support me. Like it
went awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you.
We
got way off on a tangent. Back to inspiration. So shower thoughts and a waterproof, I hope, notepad. Ani, how do you get inspiration?
All right. So my problem usually is because I physically and emotionally get stuck. Again, my anxiety really. Yeah. I never look like I have anxiety because I don't like showing other people so they don't get worried about me. But I'm always anxious. So something that I do is when I can't work, I physically will look at my studio table and be like, I don't want to do this. Like, I just don't want to. I will get my dog, the love of my life, that loves me to death, and I will start playing with her ball. throw the ball, come back.
Yes.
And I feel like that just brings the joy back into my heart, makes my anxiety go down. And that's like a major inspiration to me. Like, I mean, it's not inspiration, but it's a way for my art flow to come back out and get inspired by my own stuff. You know what I mean?
Love it. It's relaxing. Doing what you love.
I feel like it's important to sometimes take a step out of the creative setting to get creative again. Like if you're feeling like you're in an artist rut and a like artist block, then like maybe you just need a break. You might be burnt out.
Like, go take
when
a walk.
I'm feeling stuck or feeling like sometimes I get into this feeling where it's like this is just a routine. Like I'm not feeling creative. I'm just creating. It's different.
Yes.
Like I'm not
being creative. You're producing.
Yes. Like, and just kind of meeting that. Like, I don't know, it's different. So when I feel that way, what I'll actually do is I will work with a different medium. So if I'm like stressed about, or not stressed, but like uninspired to work with resin that day, I'm gonna pull up my acrylics, my oils, my watercolors, whatever it is, and it's just gonna like take me out of that space where like I can feel like really excited about doing something different.
Yes,
Kelly,
I totally agree.
What do you do for inspiration?
So what you just said was literally gonna be my answer. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's why I was pointing. Kelly does that.
So yeah, I do the same exact thing. So if I'm working on an epoxy project and I just cannot get over the piece or the layer, or I just don't know what to do next, like I'll go take my notebook out and start doodling, or go on Procreate and go on there and doodle.
Your little illustrations are adorable. I love when you post to your story where you're like, draw with me today. I'm always like, oh, like I can't wait. Like I just want to watch it.
And
it's
when
so
you know, thank you. And when you see that, I'm in an artist rut. Like that right there. That's
I'm getting my iPad tomorrow. I'm getting my iPad, I think, tomorrow, and I'm getting it basically for Procreate so that I can be inspired by Kelly and kind of like try to do that too.
Does everyone here have an iPad except for me?
Because I just got one. I just got
feeling a little left out. I think you guys also have crickets and I don't. And Ani, you said you called them circuits. I did too until you said that. No. When you said I called it circuits, I was like, what is she? Doesn't everybody? And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's cricket. I felt so stupid. But okay.
Oh, no.
So we are running out of time. We're gonna wrap things up. I hope you guys have had fun because we've obviously had
so much fun.
And we are going to really briefly just tell you guys where to find us. You can find me at rll.designs, RoniLangley.com, Roni Langley on TikTok, Roni Langley on YouTube, where this video will also be after this live stream, and it will be there every week. These videos will also be up on the Moss Epoxy website, where you can rewatch old episodes, or if you missed a week, you can go watch them, and you can watch them live every week on there. Hailey, why don't you tell us where to find you?
Yes, my name's Hailey. You can find me on Instagram at artist Hailey Nolin, as well as on TikTok with the same username. You can find me on YouTube, where this live will be as well with Roni's, on Hailey Nolin. And then you can also find me at haileynolin.com, and Ani will take it away.
Hey guys, Annie from Annie's Art Studio, and all my handles are always Annie's Art Studio. I'm on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. So follow and say hello. And Kelly.
All right, guys, I'm Kelly. My handle is Kelly Belly on Instagram. I also have Creatively Kelly with a K. That's my TikTok and my other Instagram. Don't ask. We'll get into that on another day. But I also wanted to say, you guys have been killing it with your comments. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining. Like, it's so fun to see you guys reacting and talking with us. I love that.
We want this to be a conversation. So we're glad that you're helping us make it a conversation.
Definitely.
And also, okay, before you tune off, this is the most exciting part of the show. We saved it to the end. Every single week, we are going to have a challenge for you guys. And to kick off this week, we want to see the best of what you have created. So this week, if you want to be featured as our maker spotlight next week on our episode, we want you to post with the hashtag #TheMakerMeetup. And we will have this in all of our stories after this, so you can go and like look at the instructions there. So just in a post, hashtag #TheMakerMeetup with a throwback of your favorite project you've ever done, the thing you're most proud of, maybe just the thing you've done most recently. And all throughout the week, we're going to be looking at it. We're going to be liking and commenting and sharing. And then we're going to pick our favorite and we're going to spotlight them next week on the show and talk about what we love about it. So we really hope that we're going to see some cool posts from you guys, because we really just want to involve you in this as much as we can, because it is about community, and like we are each other's community, but so are you guys, because our careers, our inspirations, our artists, like everything wouldn't be what it is without you guys. So like we want to get you guys as involved as possible. So please post, please hashtag, because we really, really do want to see it, and we want to interact with you guys. So
and we'll always answer DMs and stuff. We promise.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Message us on the Maker Makeup. Oh my gosh, I did it again.
The Maker Meetup.
I was doing so well. The Maker Meetup. Message us there. All 4 of us are on that account, so you never know who you're gonna get. It's gonna be a gamble. But we are gonna sign off, and we absolutely love you guys, and we will see you here next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.